Alright, in the last video I did a first of making my first chopping board. So I thought this time I'll keep that theme of firsts going and turn my first ball on the lathe. Now a while ago when I last went to the timber yard I did get a selection of blanks for the lathe, so now it's simply a case of choosing one to use. Firstly I need to decide, am I going to make a small ball or a large one? Small or large? Small or large? I think I'm going to go large. Now this I think looks, even though there's no label on it, it looks a bit more like ash. Oak or ash? Oak or... I'm going to try ash. First off, marking out the centre and then mounting the blanks onto the lathe. I did forget what the maximum depth for the lathe is, so I had to trim a little bit off the sides of the blank. As when I turned the baubles, I used, or maybe I should have said, try to use a roughing gouge, but all it really did was give the edges a little curve. I'm not sure if it's due to the tool rest positioning or just how I'm using the gouge. So I decided to save a lot of time and trim the corners off on the bandsaw, then use the belt sander to get it closer to being round. As a side note, I did watch a video later in the build and they did say that this is recommended for beginners, such as myself. After getting the blank close to being round, I then started with a skewer gouge, then the roughing gouge to try and get it closer to that round stage. Then I'm using a small skew to trim down one end so that I will be able to fit it onto the chuck and jaws. Now I'm trying to hollow out the inside of the ball. Again, all I'm really doing is guessing how to do this, as I had watched videos ages ago, but I didn't really take much attention as to how it was done. You can see that there is a little bit of progress, but not much. If I kept going this way, then I'll probably still be doing it now. What did the instructional videos show me? Well, firstly, that I should have used a face plate, attaching it to the end that would be the open part of the ball. If I had done that, then I could have done the base better. Also, I should have done a recess for the chuck jaws to go into and started to remove the excess waste from the base to give it the curved look. Oh yeah, and ball blanks are generally round anyway, so there would have been no need to trim the edges. So I had to then start working on the base and the sides with the blank being on the jaws. I tried to pay good attention to the pull cut, which would be helping shaping the base. Before I watched the videos I was feeling frustrated. Now however, satisfaction was starting to set in, as I was finally feeling like I was getting somewhere. Then, after working on the base, I went to the other end and started with a push cut and then use a pull cut. As I started to understand more of what I needed to do, I found that I was also experimenting a little bit more with what works and what doesn't work. By that I mean how I held the ball gouge and what angle I would have it on the blank. I don't know what it is about being covered in shavings, but it made me feel like a proper wood turner. After being happy that it was looking like an actual ball, I then just trimmed off a little bit to finalise it. When it came to sanding, I just used an 80, 120 and 180 grits. Obviously, I now know that I should have sanded and applied a finish to the base before putting it on the chuck and jaws, and then I could have finished the base off fully once it was off the lathe. The finish is just the cutting board oil that I used on the previous chopping board video. So, final product, quite happy with it. I did finish it with a cutting board oil. Naturally I'm happy with the final result, but as you've seen, it was a struggle going through and working out exactly how to do the different cuts. I really need to learn the push cut and the pull cut. I do hope you've enjoyed this video. Until the next time, Gang Candyman.